this is Emma and Paige for Mental Health Partners. We are here talking today in our second part of the series about how to cope with stress during the holidays, things that come up along with the pressure associated with the holidays. Last week, we talked about, why the holidays can be stressful. And then we talked about what this stress can actually look like within our bodies. And today we're going to talk about some proactive and reactive ways that we can incorporate stress reduction techniques into our lives in general, but also during the holidays when we are experiencing this heightened pressure and kind of just all the hectic stuff that goes along with the holidays. So take it away, Paige.
All right. So for our proactive tips, so this means ahead of time. One of my favorite things to do is worry time. And worry time is a great way to reduce anxiety and stress. So when you've got a worried thought, just stop what you're doing, write it on a note, and then go on with your day and forget about it. And just know that you have time to worry about that later on in the day because you've made time for that. So there are 4 steps to the worry time technique. The first one is to write down your worries throughout the day. So like I had said before, the most important thing is to not let that get in your head as the day goes on and to continue doing your stuff for the day. So if you've got a worry, put it on your notepad. Go on with your day and know that you will have time to do that later on. So you are teaching yourself to create these boundaries within yourself. The second is schedule it for the same time every day. So make sure that you're scheduling your worry time for the same time every day. That way there's consistency, and make sure that the time that you've allotted for your worry time, which should be around 20 to 30 minutes, is strict and stays to that. So if you're going to worry for 20 minutes, don't go over the 20 minutes. You got to stop at 20 and then go on with your day. And the third one is to find somewhere calm and quiet. So somewhere that's uninterrupted, that you feel comfortable in. So maybe that's the basement. Maybe that is your bedroom, somewhere that no one can interrupt your time during your worry time. And for the fourth step, think about what you'll do after your worry time is over and make it a ritual. So for myself, after I'm done with my worry time, which is usually after dinner, like 6:37, I will transition to listening to some tunes and washing the dishes or something. And I really find some joy out of just like listening to music and relaxing after my worry time. And knowing that I have that ritual to do after my worry time kind of makes it more joyful and puts me in a positive mood, and ready to take on the rest of the day and the days to come. So I don't know, Emma, do you have any other tips or things that come to mind when you think about proactive stress reduction techniques?
Yeah, so I think kind of on the flip side of that, setting intentional relax time is really important, especially during these really hectic, busy times of the holidays. If you know that you have a big party later that night or that you're going to be hosting some people at your house, setting aside some time in the morning or at night to just really relax and decompress can be helpful and just really center you and make sure that you're not just wound up constantly. I also think it's really, really important to continue the habits and everyday, routines that you have outside of the holidays so that you can maintain a sense of that control and consistency even during the hectic times during the holidays. So, if you tend to exercise every day, continue to do that. If you meditate every day, make sure you're continuing practicing meditation even during the holidays, even when you're traveling, etc. And again, that'll just continue that sense of consistency and control over yourself, even when you can't really control all the things around you. One other really good thing is to set boundaries. So this includes for yourself and for those around you. So this involves making conscious choices about the things you'll be engaging in during the holidays. So whether that's the choice to stay at your parents' house for 3 days instead of a whole week because they tend to really stress you out during the holidays, that's okay. You might choose to only go to 3 holiday parties instead of the 6 you were invited to. You might also decide that you're only going to stay at whatever social events you're going to for 2 hours instead of feeling the pressure to stay all night, because you might have a shorter social battery just with COVID and the general stress from the holidays. You might also decide that you are going to limit certain topics that you are willing to talk about. You know, when you get with family or friends that you're catching up with, sometimes people ask about updates with your career or your relationships. And this can be really stressful and oftentimes painful for a lot of people. So deciding that you won't engage in these conversations and maybe even letting the people that you're going to be with know that ahead of time. These are all okay to do. And just generally being proactive about planning and setting these boundaries will give you, again, that sense of control over what you're engaging in. And also, it will help you to be really intentional with your time and with your energy and what you're prioritizing during the holidays.
You can also do things in the moment. So these are your reactive tips that you can consider. Like we had talked about earlier, mindfulness can help you reduce and notice these cues. So it's important to separate your thoughts and your emotions from yourself. That's the number one key. Don't take it personally. When we take things personally, we start to ruminate and analyze over and over, situations and stressful events that can happen during the holidays. So don't take it personally, separate yourself. And when we do that, when we can separate ourselves from our emotions and our feelings, we can kind of see the situation differently and see it in a whole different palette of ways to be in relation to that situation. So it's really good to do that. We each have this narrative within ourselves that can sometimes get convoluted, that can have negative thoughts, negative self-talk that just, put us in a bad mood. So it's really important to be aware of that, aware of your narrative, and to understand like, oh, I'm definitely not in a good place right now where I am feeling appreciative of the people that are around me. So one technique that we think is very helpful in terms of managing like our self-talk and our mindfulness are the 3 R's. So the 3 R's are to recognize, remember, and regulate. So to recognize, we want to take account for our body emotions, how we're feeling, our behaviors, and acknowledge them. To remember. So you want to remember yourself, what you're feeling, and just know that it's normal. We all feel this way. It's all good. And to regulate. So self-soothe, take deep breaths, feel your body and see what you need, and release and disrupt those thinking cycles of that unhealthy rumination that we all sometimes experience.
Yeah, so another good thing to do is utilizing breathing techniques when you are feeling an active moment of stress. So we have a technique called breathe, redirect, do. So the first step is to breathe the calm back in. So you will breathe in for 4 counts, hold your breath for 7 counts, and exhale for 8 counts. The next step is to redirect. So redirect your attention to the world around you or envisioning yourself feeling good. The idea of this is just not to focus on that scary or anxiety inducing thought that you're having. And then lastly, do. So create a fun diversion or distracting task to kind of switch your attention away from whatever it is that is stressing you out.
Mm-hmm. I know one thing that I like to do as a fun diversion when I'm stressed out is just call on a loved one, like my mom, vent to her, and I feel a lot better.
So speaking of loved ones, a big focus of the holidays is centered around spending time with loved ones, whether that's family or friends. And, this can be a stressful thing for some people, depending on family dynamics and stuff that goes along with that, but it also can be a really great thing. So we kind of just want to end this on a positive note, talking about practicing gratitude and appreciation for those around you and for the situations that you're in during the holidays. So this might kind of feel weird, especially considering, that we're talking about being stressed and being anxious, but practicing gratitude can really pull you out of those ruminating thoughts that you might be having and bring you back into the moment that you're in. So intentionally appreciating the moments that you're in can look like just being mindful of when you're in a good moment and acknowledging that to yourself and saying like, wow, I'm really enjoying this moment that I'm in right now.
So like Emma was talking about, gratitude and compassion are wonderful things to practice during the holidays, because we do get short with our loved ones. We get short with our friends, and we get short with just random people in the grocery store when we're in line. So it's really important to take a step back, take a breath, and appreciate and know that everyone wants to be happy and that everyone is going through this too. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little activity, just like a little minute meditation. It's called a loving kindness meditation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read these parts to you. There's 4 parts. And I want you to listen to what I say and close your eyes and just experience this. First, I want you to sit for a moment, make sure there's no distractions around you. Close your eyes, take some deep breaths, try to calm your body and center it. And as you close your eyes, I want you to bring a loved one into your mind. As you bring this loved one into your mind and your heart, I want you to cultivate this strong aspiration that they may be happy and that they may be free of suffering, and that they wish that they seek this happiness and this free of suffering, as all human beings do. And now, as your eyes are closed and you're thinking about this person, I want you to envision a time in their life when they may have been having some difficulty. And just say a simple phrase in your head: may you be happy, may you be free of suffering. All right, now take a deep breath and open your eyes. Now simply notice whatever may come up from you from that experience. Do you feel that your heart is more open? Do you feel more of a sense of loving kindness? So just reflect on those feelings that you have, and know that you can do this for other people too. You can do this for yourself. You can do it for another loved one. You can do it for a random person on the street that you just saw walking by, or the grocery bagger. And you can even do it for people that may be a little bit hard to love.
Thank you, Paige. I think that when we use this meditation and other types of loving meditation, we are again going back to that practice of gratitude, appreciation, and acceptance for ourselves and for those around us. And again, during the holidays, it can be really hard to do this. So being mindful and being conscious of this can be a really great way to give ourselves that grace and gratitude that we sometimes might need a little more during the holiday season.
So there are so many ways that you can support yourself, from noticing the warning signs to mindful breathing and creating space for thoughts and boundaries within yourself and with others. It's really important to make space for yourself and to find a sense of rest, balance, and joy during the holiday season.
So hopefully today we were able to give you some helpful tips in stress reduction techniques, both proactive and reactive, and just helped to spread that idea of gratitude, peace, acceptance, rest, balance, and joy during this holiday season. Thanks for tuning in. Please, again, as always, check out the other videos that we have to offer you. We've got some great holiday tips from a lot of our other colleagues that you can find on our channel here, as well as please check out what we've got going on our other social media pages that are in the description below. Please leave us comments, ping us in any way you want, and we will answer whatever questions you have during our upcoming live streams.